The HR office smelled faintly of coffee and antiseptic. I slid into the chair, the leather stiff under me. She didn't look up, didn't even bother with a greeting. 5 minutes late, she said, voice clipped, eyes cold. I stared at the paper she slid across the desk. Termination. My mind calculated. 70 hours a week. Every project, every late-night call, every risk I'd taken for this company. It meant nothing. I didn't speak. I didn't need to. My hands rested on the polished wood. The quiet in the room screamed louder than words. Her heels clicked as she left. I sat there, alone, quiet, calculating. I had always known something was off, but not this betrayal. At first, I'd tried to reason. Maybe she'd snapped, stress, power. But the pattern was there. Too many late meetings she conveniently forgot to mention, phone calls in the middle of the night she pretended were work, small lies stacking like hidden bricks in a wall. The betrayal wasn't just professional, it was personal, deep. I remembered the way her eyes flicked to someone else during dinner parties, the subtle tension whenever I suggested a weekend getaway, the faint perfume that wasn't mine. I told myself I was imagining it. I wanted to. But a man who runs a company, even a company that's just slipped from his hands to his wife's, doesn't ignore patterns. He notes them. Every detail, every anomaly, every shadow in the periphery. I began to see it. The financial reports she waved at me with one hand, hiding transactions I would have noticed. The whispers from assistants, the hushed tones in the conference room. It was never about the company. It was always about control. And now, I was out. I started quietly. A copy of her phone, nothing aggressive, just facts. Every deleted text meticulously recovered, call logs reconstructed, emails pieced together, DNA test, innocent enough, scientific enough that no one would suspect. I watched her, the way she thought she was untouchable, the way she flaunted her luxury car while I took the train, silently enduring every glare and smirk. Every detail mattered, every slip could be exploited. I didn't confront her, not yet. That would ruin the theater. I needed the climax. I needed the truth in my hands before the performance. I counted the hours, the days, the whispered conversations I caught from the edges of rooms. Every moment, every observation sharpened my resolve. My mind was ice, but beneath it, a storm brewed, calm, precise, inevitable. The results came on a plain sheet of paper, unremarkable at first glance, cold, clinical. The child, the one she smiled at with such warmth, the one I had thought was ours, wasn't mine, not genetically, not even close. I folded the paper slowly, deliberately, took a deep breath, and waited. Dinner that night was quiet, too quiet. I slid the envelope across the table toward her. "Curious," I said softly, almost conversational, "about the DNA test." She froze, fork halfway to her mouth, eyes wide, then denial, then panic, then finally, a flicker of fear. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't demand. The silence said everything. She knew she was trapped, and she hated it. The next morning, I walked into the office, the boardroom, my domain, but hers now too. I called the board, casual, professional, a few pointed questions, a few carefully timed emails, and then the signature line on a set of contracts, the papers she thought she controlled, now legally binding in my favor. The company, the assets, everything she had manipulated to own, legally, finally, mine again. Her eyes met mine across the glass wall. She realized instantly. The betrayal she had plotted, the games she had played, now reflected back on her. I could see it, the panic, the shame, the small cracking of the facade she had perfected for years. I didn't gloat. I didn't need to. The truth was enough. I left the office that day, walking past her in silence. My calm was my weapon. Every step, every measured breath a reminder that I was untouchable now. At home, I sat alone. No anger, no tears, just clarity. Every calculation had been precise, every move deliberate. She had underestimated me, misread my patience, assumed my silence was submission. She had been wrong. I wasn't the man who had arrived 5 minutes late that day. That man was gone. I was the one who had waited, watched, and finally reclaimed everything. The company, the truth, the power, they were mine, and she would always know it. I closed the door to the office, to the betrayal, to her, and for the first time in years, I was free.